This always seemed like Matt Wachs's destiny.
I remember playing Jeopardy with my mom at the kitchen table for nickels and dimes, essentially allowance money when I was really really young. And then when I was in high school at Skyview, I would spend the first couple periods writing my own Jeopardy board. And then at lunchtime, when the friends would gather around the lunch table, I would host the game of Jeopardy.
We always kind of talked about Jeopardy with Matt, and it was never, if you get on Jeopardy or are you going to try out? It was always, when I try out for Jeopardy and when I get on Jeopardy.
Matt tried out for the college tournament a handful of times, but when nothing ever came of it, he decided to wait until the perfect time.
And I told myself that when I was right around 30, I read some study that said that that's when people are at their intellectual peak. So I was like, I'm going to wait a little bit, try to maximize it. And then I took the test and I passed, and then things started moving really, really fast.
Matt was brought out to LA in January for his shot, but at that point, he knew the process pretty well. He and his dad had starred on the pilot episode of a different show 4 years earlier.
Russell and Matt take the lead.
We were on Beach Shazam on a rival network, and and it was a great experience. We got to win some money and have a lot of fun doing it together. That absolutely helped because I think a lot of people come into Jeopardy wide-eyed. TV is a beast and it's scary.
Dad knew that wasn't going to be a problem.
I read somewhere that fear of speaking or fear of appearing in public or being in public is like high up on people's lists. And both of us, I don't know why, haven't ever had that as kind of an issue. Shyness isn't one of our many problems.
Matt, however, acknowledged he worried about one aspect of the in-person experience versus the TV version.
There are two boards. There's the big board with all of the clues. But what I sort of kind of assumed from growing up watching Jeopardy is that on that big board of clues, when you would push into the clue, it would fill up the board, and it does not do that. So you kind of have to have pretty sharp eyesight, or you got to be a great listener, because it's not quite as simple as they make it look on TV.
On the flip side, there was one TV trick that gave him a big smile.
If you watch a game of Jeopardy, all of the contestants are the same height. And it never occurred to me that there's no way that that could be possible. So in front of the podiums, they have these, it's almost like when NSYNC or Britney Spears would go on tour and they would come out of the floor on the stage. They had these like built-in mechanical risers. We got a chance to watch some games, and there's a really tall contestant and a really short contestant. And I'm thinking something doesn't, and then they rise them out, and I was like, oh, of course they've really thought of everything.
One thing that differed between father and son's experience, the host, Russell, was among the thousands greeted by Alex Trebek, but after his death late last year, the show has had a number of guest hosts. While there's no replacing the longtime legend, Matt was excited to see Katie Couric as his.
Especially as a journalist, I adore Katie, and she was absolutely everything you would hope she would be when you meet her. She was kind and thoughtful and funny, very, very funny.
In all honesty, I was a little bummed that he didn't get to spend a few minutes with Alex Trebek, because that would have just been awesome. But Katie Couric, I think, is doing a great job. I think Ken Jennings did a great job as well. In fact, I think the executive producer that they had hosting the last couple of weeks before Katie did a fantastic job.
Right.
I'm just waiting for the call.
Would you ever want to be the host?
Oh, I think that would be fantastic.
You've done contestant. Now are you moving on to, you're applying to be host?
Look, I've seen firsthand how hard that job is, and I want nothing to do with it. I think it is something that Alex did with so much grace and skill and talent, and he really did make it look easy. And I think if you'd ask any of these guest hosts that have filled in since we lost Alex, they would all say the same thing, that their respect for Alex has grown tenfold because of what he was able to make look so simple and fun.